Yo, what's up guys, Nandra here. Today's game is going to be a quick replay of Storm Ramp Dragon. It's going to have the Saha package in it. I'm going to go and show you guys the deck list really quickly. There's nothing really special about this list other than the fact that I have one Imperial Dragoon and I have one Uriel to search out my Polyphonic Aurora. Other than that, it's pretty stable. So I just really wanted to share this game because it was a pretty crazy game overall, and there was a strong chance that I could have lost had I not seen Bahamut, just because I was under a lot of mental pressure. That'll be something that I'll be talking about in a future video. How mental pressure serves as a tool that you can use against your opponent in order to win, such as by using very uncommon text. Like for example, I use Imperial Dragoon, which allows me to get a lot of very interesting / intricate / uncommon lethals that you would expect a dragon player to get. But again, I'll be talking about this in a later video. So, because this is actually a ranked game, and because he was master, I believe he was low level master or something like that. I perceived him to be D-Shift, just because D-Shift is the most common rune deck on ladder. So I go ahead and keep Ayala, and I also go ahead and keep Sybil. The reason why I keep Ayala in this matchup is just because a lot of rune players don't really understand, well, a lot of people in general actually, don't really understand when you're supposed to kill Ayala. And I'll be talking about that, and I'll also be talking about this in another video. But as a result of them not knowing when to kill it, you can sometimes get in a ton of chip damage with it. I've actually had a few games where my Ayala lives past turn 3 and gets in 10 damage by itself, which is actually just like bonkers when you think about it. And I also go ahead and keep the Sybil. There is some merit to me wanting to keep the Imperial Dragoon, just because it gives me another source of reach, which will be important if my Ayala gets in a lot of chip damage and I can draw some cards. However, I go ahead and pitch it back just because there are other cards that I would like to have. Like for example, I would really like to have an Oracle. I believe I'm going second actually too, which gives me a lot of potential draws to see the Oracle. I get a Fervor. The Fervor is actually a lot better, and most times you want it over the Sybil in this matchup, just because they're a control deck, you're also a control deck, but you need to be the aggressor in this matchup. So I draw my Polyphonic Roar, and this is really good because this puts me on the game plan of just, ramp up to 9, play Poly, win the game. When he played the Unica and then the Grimnir, I just sort of assumed that maybe he was dirt and that was why he played it. Here, playing the Ayala is nice because there's nothing he can really do on 4 that would be terrifying. Like, the biggest quote-unquote punish would be if he just went straight up just 4 mana Piercing Rune on my Ayala. However, that would allow me to Fervor, and then I'd be able to play Sybil and other stuff the turn afterwards, and he'd be in a pretty rough spot, provided I could withstand whatever pressure he wanted to go for the turn afterwards. However, because I believe that he's dirt, I'm half expecting to see him play like Price of Magic or something like that. The Ayala is really good here because he's gonna want to value trade into it, and when he does, I can go literal Evo next turn and clear off both things, or so I thought, because he played Bell Ringers, which kind of threw me for a loop, and I was like really confused. And again, because I knew that he was low level masters, I sort of assumed that, okay, well, maybe he's just memeing, and he's playing like Neutral Rune just because we're so close to Wonderland Dreams getting released. Because I drew the Breath of the Salamander, that influenced my decision to go ahead and go Fervor. Because it doesn't matter what he wants to do next turn. I can go ahead and blast all of it away when I get Breathless Salamander for 6. Drawing the Blazing Breath off of the Fervor as well made my line particularly good, just because a lot of times what you want to do versus Dragon, if they're going to turn 6 and you have a lot of things that are going to die to a Breathless Salamander, you want to try to make as many things as possible outlive the Salamander, just so that way you can maybe dissuade the Dragon player from going for that play, because the play is 6 mana and they usually will only have 6 mana, so it'll go ahead and consist of their entire turn to make the play, and if you have stuff on board that'll live through it, they usually won't want to make the play. They'll usually try to make a play that gets a creature on board. You can go ahead and try to punish that as well. You want to try to force people into lose situations whenever possible. So here he plays Melvy. I'm just like, what? Because a lot of people don't play Melvy just because versus aggro, you don't want your aggro opponent to draw like 5 cards, because he's gonna find burn damage. He's gonna find outs to your wards and whatnot, and he's gonna kill you for it. However, versus Dragon, Melvy is actually really good, just because the Dragon, if they had a good hand, will usually have a pretty full hand, and therefore they won't actually get to draw any cards from the Melvy. So as you see there, he drew 4 cards, and his Bellringers are going to give him 2 more cards. He also misplayed by not pre-evoing something to dodge the Breath of the Salamander, as I said before. So this Salamander is going to be a full clear, and I'm not going to have to waste any additional resources. He is going to draw 2 more cards from the Bellringers, but he is going to overdraw. There's not really that much that he could play on 6. He has Levi. He also has a second Unica, and then he plays a Scholarly Witch. So that's a pretty good board for him, just because it's going to be difficult for me to clear all of it off. I could have had a second Breath of the Salamander, however I don't. Alright, so for this turn, a lot of people would actually go Oracle plus Breath of the Salamander on either the Witch or the Unica, as well as Sybil, and go ahead and Evo the Sybil. However, for me, because I've already made him use 1 Evo and I'm going second, and therefore I have more Evos than him, what I want to do here is I want to set up a situation where I can play the Polyphonic Roar in a way where he's gonna have to use his last Evo, which means that he's most likely not going to get another Evo for his Levi or something like that, as well as being at a high enough HP total where I can comfortably do that and not be afraid of dying. Because the first turn that you play the Poly is almost always the scariest turn, just because you did 9 mana pass, and your opponent can do whatever he wants to, most likely whatever he wants to do to you that turn. So you want to try to set up situations for yourself in which you have enough space to do so. So I go Blazing Breath plus Sybil. I Blazing Breath the Unica. I go ahead and ping the Witch with my Lyrial, and then I go ahead and trade in Lyrial into Levi. This way, I have a clear board. I'll also be going up to 18, and I still have two Evos left, while also forcing him to use his last Evo here. However, he plays Saha Quill, and that shows me that he is playing Lucifer. So at this point, because I see the Lucifer, I should now realize that, okay, he's 100% Ginger. This is happening. However, I play a lot of weird decks, so and I've also been playing Saha Quill and Lucifer, and I believe 2 different dirt decks. So I kind of just threw myself off, and I was like, wait, did he just like net deck me? And I was pretty surprised. Here, he drew, I believe, 2 more cards. So his current cards drawn count is actually 8 from this game. Yeah, he's almost halfway through his deck at turn 8, which is pretty crazy because he's been making plays this entire time. Like he's been playing creatures. However, he doesn't evoke the Saha, which is a mistake because this now means that I can go ahead and play Grimnir. And it was pretty clear that I telegraphed, okay, I have Grimnir in my hand, you need to play around this. So my Grimnir gets a full clear. I don't need to use it to Evo to trade into anything. And I can just use my Evo on my Windblast Dragon to go face and to threaten lethal. And then here he plays Ginger. One important thing about Ginger that a lot of people have said this expansion, because it is true, is that you committed a lot of resources. You commit at least 5 cards out of your 9 possible that you could have in hand to make a very, very large board state, but you don't actually win the game on the same turn, provided that you're not running a combo, and you do leave yourself open up to Bahamut, which is a card that Dragon plays quite a bit, actually. So here, for 9 mana, he got, let's see here, 12, 14, 16, 18. He got 23, 29 worth of stats and a giant ward, and is healing for 8, and also got 5 creatures. That was pretty insane. He can go ahead and Evo his Witch. So now he'll have drawn 12 cards total. He'll go ahead and clear off my Grimnir, as well as clear off my Windblast Dragon, and put a big enough ward in the way that I can't just go face and kill him. Because Dragon can only do at max 19 maybe damage to you, but that's provided you have a Bahamut. Alright, so this turn I did misplay. I didn't want a Bahamut just because he could have multiple Bahamuts in his hands as well, because again, he's drawn significantly more than I have. And one possible out that I did have to be able to keep up my poly, to keep up my poly, was to go Scyther. Was to maybe go Scyther Evo the Windblast Dragon, and then trade that way. Or additionally, I could have gone Ouroboros, ping the Zeus, trade into a Lucifer, clear off the Ginger with the Windblast Dragon, and that would have put me back up to 17, and it would have like allowed me to hold Bahamut in my hand. However, I was under a lot of mental pressure because he played all of these cards, and so I kind of freaked out, which you don't want to do, especially when you're playing a control deck, or even just in general, to just like overcommit for no reason. I do have an answer if he plays one Zeus. However, if he plays a second Zeus, I'll be in a lot of trouble, because even though his Ginger play did require him to use a lot of cards, he still has quite a few cards in hand because he was able to draw 2 while making that play as well, which suddenly made like him keeping Scholarly Witch and keeping the Eva from the turn before. It suddenly made that play make a lot of sense, because he probably wasn't expecting for me to want to Bahamut my own board. However, he kind of left me with no choice. So here, when he does not have the answer to when he does not have the answer to Bahamut, that's more or less when I win, because generally Dragon, if you stick anything on the board for longer than a turn, then you suddenly open yourself up to taking a lot of damage, just because Dragon as a class runs a lot of AoE effects, and generally has a lot of ways of being able to just clear massive boards to let their big guys go face. He also drew another, he also drew like another 3 cards from Melby here. Like, he had, I believe, triple Melby, and he drew like 9 cards from all 3 Melbys. That was actually insane to me. Like, he's 10 cards ahead of me. And it's turn 10. Why? But here, I can go Oracle, Evo, I can go Oracle, play Ouroboros, Evo the Ouroboros, and then go face. because I was still under a little bit of mental pressure there. I kind of misplayed. Generally, when you know you're gonna draw cards, you want to draw first so you can see the other cards you get and decide what you're gonna do. Here, he plays Healing Angels, and that does manage to heal him out of lethal. However, I top deck Imperial Dragoon, and it doesn't matter because Imperial Dragoon just does 8 and just kills them. Yeah, it was a pretty game. It was a pretty crazy game overall, and just really goes to show you that you need to try to take each and every turn as slow as possible in terms of how fast you choose to play out your cards, just because you don't want to accidentally make a misplay, because in this game in particular, and for a lot of decks, your misplays can punish you and they can cost you games, provided that you're not like massively far ahead. And even in the games where you are, you never know when a combination of you misplaying plus your opponent getting the right top decks to punish you for a said misplay can cost you a game. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you did, and if you didn't, go ahead and tell me why in the comments below. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.